What if I told you there's just one simple vitamin your legs are quietly begging for? But most people don't even realize they're missing it. You see, it's not just age that makes your legs weaker, your steps shakier, or those nighttime cramps more frequent. Ever wondered why two people of the same age can have such different mobility? One walking strong and steady, the other struggling just to get out of a chair. It's not always luck or genetics. Often something invisible is happening beneath the surface, a silent deficiency. Because deep inside your body, this one vitamin plays a critical role in keeping your muscles strong, your nerves responsive, and your legs from cramping up without warning. And no, it's not just about your bones. This is vitamin D, but we're going to look at it in a whole new light. It's a game changer for seniors, not just for bone health, but for balance, mobility, and quality of life. So if you're tired of blaming everything on getting old, or you're ready to feel more in control of your body again, stick with me. I'll walk you through exactly how to get more of this vitamin, naturally, safely, and deliciously, so you can stay strong, steady, and active, even well into your 90s. If you're serious about protecting your health as you age, go ahead and hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical tips to keep you moving with confidence. So before start, let me told you a story that's impressed on me for years. My neighbor, Mrs. Beryl, just turned 92. She's not a doctor, not a fitness influencer, not even someone who talks much about health. But she moves like someone in her 60s. Every morning you'll see her outside, tending to her little garden, trimming basil, pulling weeds, feeding her chickens. Her spine is straight, her steps are firm, and she never needs help getting in or out of a chair. I once asked her what her secret was, and she simply smiled and said, "I feed my bones sunshine, and I don't let my legs forget they're alive." It sounded poetic, but it made me curious. So I dug deeper, and sure enough, she's been intentionally getting morning sun every day since her 50s. Rain or shine, she sits on her porch for 20 minutes, lets the light hit her face and arms, and enjoys a warm drink. Later in the day, she makes sure to eat a meal rich in vitamin D, grilled sardines with rice and greens, or an egg yolk stirred into her congee. And if it's cloudy for too long, she takes a small vitamin D3 capsule with lunch. Nothing complicated, nothing fancy. But here's the thing, while many seniors her age struggle to walk or feel stiff and unsteady, Mrs. Beryl has never needed a walker. She walks to the market by herself, climbs stairs with ease, and even plays tag with her great-grandkids in the backyard. She laughs more, sleeps better, and tells me she rarely ever feels old, just more grateful. That's the real power of vitamin D. It's not just a nutrient, it's a quiet form of freedom. It keeps you steady when you want to garden, strong when you want to travel, mobile when you want to dance at your granddaughter's wedding. It lets you live with dignity, not depending on others to move your body for you. And when I watch Mrs. Beryl kneel to tie her shoes without groaning, or stretch to hang laundry in the sun, I'm reminded that growing older doesn't mean giving up strength. It means learning how to care for your body in deeper, smarter ways. And sometimes the key isn't a breakthrough drug or a secret workout. Sometimes it's as simple as a little sunlight and a plate of nourishing food. Her story isn't rare, it's just undertold. There are thousands of older adults who've tapped into this gentle, natural approach to leg health and strength. And it's changed the way they live, move, and age. So if you're wondering whether something as simple as vitamin D can really make a difference, just look at someone like Mrs. Beryl. Sometimes strength in your 90s starts with a single ray of sunshine and a small daily choice to support your body with what it truly needs. Now let's break this down. Why is vitamin D so essential for your legs, especially as you age? Most people associate it with bone health, and yes, that's true. But the real magic lies in how vitamin D supports your muscles and nerves, two critical systems that decide whether you move with strength or struggle with weakness. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium properly, yes, but it also directly influences muscle contraction and nerve communication. Think of it like the oil that keeps the engine of your muscles running smoothly. Without enough of it, your muscles can't contract properly. You feel wobbly when you stand. You struggle to climb stairs. And worst of all, those sudden, painful nighttime leg cramps, that feeling like your calf just twisted itself into a knot. That's often a vitamin D deficiency calling out for help. Even more concerning, low vitamin D levels are strongly linked to muscle loss, especially in older adults. And this isn't just a theory. Multiple studies have found that seniors with low vitamin D levels have significantly weaker leg strength and are more prone to falls and mobility problems. It gets deeper. Your nerves rely on vitamin D to send proper signals to your muscles. Without it, your reaction times slow, your balance falters, and your muscles don't listen as well. It's like sending a message through a fuzzy radio signal. It just doesn't land. And guess what? This isn't something you'll feel happening overnight. It creeps up slowly. One day you're fine, and then suddenly you're avoiding stairs, holding onto furniture, or waking up from leg cramps 3 nights in a row. But the silver lining? It's completely fixable. With the right steps, you can restore your vitamin D levels and rebuild the strength, coordination, and confidence your legs need. This one vitamin can mean the difference between staying active and independent, or slowly losing the freedom to move on your own terms. Signs you might be deficient, but don't realize it. Here's the tricky part. Vitamin D deficiency doesn't shout, it whispers, and often we don't realize we're low until something starts to go wrong. You might think it's just age catching up with you, but there are small signs your body is waving like red flags. Ever feel that deep, dull ache in your thighs or calves, especially after walking or standing? Or maybe you've noticed your muscles feel weaker, even though you haven't changed your routine. One of the most common hidden symptoms. Leg cramps at night. Those sudden jolts that wake you up and make you stretch or pace around just to make them stop. It's not just annoying, it could be your body's way of begging for vitamin D. Other signs include fatigue, low energy, or that sluggish, heavy leg feeling that makes simple tasks feel exhausting. And let's not forget about balance. If you've been stumbling more often or feeling unsteady when getting out of bed or stepping off a curb, that could be a nervous system issue linked to low D levels. Now here's what most people miss. You can be deficient even if you spend time outside. Why? Because as we age, our skin loses its ability to synthesize vitamin D from sunlight efficiently. That means a 70-year-old needs way more sun exposure than a 30-year-old to produce the same amount. And let's be honest, most older adults aren't basking in the sun for hours. Plus, things like sunscreen, staying indoors, darker skin tones, or living in northern climates can block production even more. And if you're someone who rarely eats fatty fish, fortified dairy, or egg yolks, your intake through food might be far too low. So even if you look healthy, you might still be running on empty when it comes to vitamin D. That's why it's so important to know the signs, because catching the deficiency early means you can reverse it before it affects your ability to walk, stand, or live independently. Think of it as checking the battery in your legs. If they're starting to feel drained, it might not be just aging. It might be vitamin D quietly slipping through the cracks. How vitamin D impacts muscle strength, balance, and leg cramps. Vitamin D is often called the sunshine vitamin, but let's be real, it does so much more than just support your bones. When it comes to your legs, your balance, and those mysterious nighttime cramps, vitamin D is one of the most overlooked powerhouses in your body. Here's the deal, your muscles don't just need protein, they also need the proper activation signals. And that's where vitamin D steps in. It helps your muscles contract properly, which is essential for every single step you take. Without enough vitamin D, your muscle fibers get weak and slow. That's why some seniors feel like their legs just don't respond the way they used to. It's not just aging, it's a loss of that spark, that connection between brain and muscle. And it doesn't stop there. Vitamin D plays a critical role in neuromuscular coordination. That means it helps your nerves and muscles talk to each other. When this line of communication breaks down, you're more likely to lose balance, trip, or even fall, something that becomes more dangerous as we age. Studies have shown that seniors with healthy vitamin D levels have better postural stability and are far less likely to suffer fall-related injuries. That's life-changing. And what about those leg cramps that seem to strike out of nowhere? Research suggests that vitamin D may help by regulating calcium levels in your blood and muscles, which in turn helps muscles relax properly after contraction. Low D levels can cause calcium imbalances, leading to hyperexcitable nerves and the kind of painful spasms that interrupt your sleep. In other words, without enough vitamin D, your legs can't fully let go after a movement. And that's when the cramps creep in. Plus, when your muscles are deprived of vitamin D over time, they can actually begin to atrophy, especially in the larger muscle groups like the quadriceps and hamstrings, the ones that power your ability to walk, rise from a chair, or climb stairs. But here's what's most exciting. Multiple clinical trials have shown that restoring vitamin D levels in deficient older adults can significantly improve muscle strength and function within just a few months. We're not talking about a small difference either. Participants reported feeling more confident on their feet, more energized, and even more independent in daily life. This isn't about magic, it's about science and giving your body what it needs to function at its best. So if your legs have been feeling stiff, tired, or unstable, and you've just chalked it up to age, think again. There's a real biological reason behind it, and vitamin D might be the missing link. Because stronger legs don't start at the gym. They start at the cellular level, with the right nutrients, the right support, and the right habits. So why is it that seniors, more than any other age group, seem to struggle with low vitamin D, and the leg problems that come with it? The truth is, your body changes the way it processes nutrients as you age. When you're younger, just 10 to 15 minutes in the sun can help your skin synthesize all the vitamin D you need. But once you pass 60, that ability drops significantly. In fact, by the time you're in your 70s or 80s, your skin produces up to 75% less vitamin D from the same amount of sunlight. Add to that the fact that many older adults naturally spend less time outdoors, and you've got a perfect storm. Whether it's because of mobility issues, cooler weather, or simply being more comfortable indoors, sun exposure drops off, and so does vitamin D. But there's more. The kidneys and liver, two organs critical in converting vitamin D into its active form, also lose efficiency with age. So even if you're getting enough from food or sunlight, your body might not be activating it properly. That means vitamin D could be there, but your muscles and nerves can't use it. On top of all that, digestive changes in older adults can reduce the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin D. If you've had digestive issues, gallbladder removal, or you take certain medications like antacids, corticosteroids, or statins, you might unknowingly be blocking the very vitamin your legs are crying out for. And let's not forget one of the biggest hidden factors: diet. As we get older, our appetite may naturally decrease, or we simplify meals to save time or energy. That often means we're eating less variety and getting less of the key foods that contain vitamin D. Milk, salmon, eggs, fortified cereals. If these foods aren't regulars in your kitchen, it's easy to fall short. What's frustrating is that the signs of deficiency can be so subtle at first. A little more fatigue, a little more stiffness, a little more wobble when getting up from a chair. They're easy to brush off as just aging, but left unchecked, it adds up. Before you know it, climbing stairs feels like a mountain, and leg cramps at night become a regular disturbance. That's why understanding the root cause is empowering. When you know what's really going on, when you realize your legs aren't failing you, they're just under-supported, you can take action. And this doesn't mean you need a cabinet full of supplements or a complete lifestyle overhaul. It starts with awareness, a few small shifts, better food choices, smarter sun exposure, and soon your legs start to feel stronger, more stable, more alive. So if you've ever wondered why someone the same age seems to move with more ease, more confidence, it might not be luck or genetics. It might be vitamin D. So let's get real. How much vitamin D do you actually need to keep your legs strong and free from those frustrating cramps? Most experts agree that adults over 70 need at least 800 to 1,000 IU of vitamin D per day. But here's the surprise. Many doctors now believe that number might be too low for optimal muscle function, especially if you're already showing signs of deficiency. Some studies suggest 1,200 to even 2,000 IU might be more effective, especially for seniors struggling with muscle weakness, fatigue, or balance issues. But how do you know if you're getting enough? The tricky part is, vitamin D deficiency is often silent. There's no flashing warning light when your levels drop. Instead, you might notice vague things. Feeling more tired than usual, struggling to get out of a chair, cramping legs at night, or a heavy feeling in your thighs when climbing stairs. Even a small imbalance can disrupt how your muscles fire, how your nerves communicate, and how your legs recover after simple activities like walking. The best way to know for sure is through a simple blood test, called a 25 open OD test, that measures your current vitamin D level. Ideally, you want to be in the 30 to 50 nanograms per milliliter range. Below 20, that's considered deficient. And trust me, many seniors fall into that range without even knowing it. I've spoken with older adults who thought they were just slowing down until they tested and corrected their vitamin D and suddenly felt like themselves again. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Not all vitamin D is created equal. There are two main forms, D2 and D3. Vitamin D2 is plant-based, while D3 comes from animal sources and is what your skin produces from sunlight. Studies show that vitamin D3 is more effective at raising blood levels and keeping them stable. So when you're choosing supplements or fortified foods, keep that in mind. And remember, vitamin D is fat-soluble, meaning your body absorbs it best when taken with a little healthy fat, like olive oil, avocado, or nuts. Even if you're eating well, skipping this step could mean you're not getting the full benefit. If you're already supplementing, great. But it's still worth checking your levels with a doctor because more isn't always better. Too much vitamin D over time can cause other issues, so balance is key. The goal isn't just to hit a number, it's to feel the difference in your body. Stronger legs, fewer cramps, more energy, more freedom. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And that starts with understanding what your body really needs, not just what you've heard in passing. All right, so now you know how important vitamin D is and how much you really need. But here comes the big question. How should you get it? Should you rely on the sun, start taking pills, or just load up your plate with certain foods? The answer: it's all about balance and finding what fits your lifestyle best. Let's start with sunlight, the most natural source. When your skin is exposed to UVB rays, it actually produces vitamin D3 on its own. How amazing is that? Just 10 to 30 minutes of midday sunlight a few times a week can be enough for many people. But here's the catch. As you age, your skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D. Add in sunscreen, cloudy weather, and staying indoors more often, and suddenly sunlight isn't quite enough. That's where food and supplements come in, and this is where you can take real control. Certain foods naturally contain vitamin D, like salmon, sardines, egg yolks, and liver, while others, like milk, orange juice, and cereals, are fortified with it. These are smart choices, especially when combined with a bit of healthy fat to boost absorption. But it can still be hard to meet your daily needs through food alone. Unless you're eating oily fish several times a week or carefully tracking portions. That's why supplements are often the easiest and most reliable method for seniors. A high-quality vitamin D3 supplement, ideally taken with a meal that includes fat, can ensure your levels stay where they need to be, without relying on unpredictable weather or complicated diets. But don't just pop any pill. Look for third-party tested brands and always check with your healthcare provider before starting, especially if you're on other medications. Here's a tip. Some doctors recommend combined D3 and K2 supplements because vitamin K2 helps guide calcium into your bones and muscles, not your arteries. It's a subtle detail, but one that makes a big difference in long-term health. Ultimately, there's no one-size-fits-all. Some people thrive on a little sunlight and a fish-rich diet, while others need daily supplementation to feel their best. What matters most is that you find what works for you, because when you get this right, you don't just strengthen your legs, you unlock a whole new level of energy, mobility, and confidence. So whether you're sipping fortified milk at breakfast, catching the morning sun on your patio, or simply adding a D3 soft gel to your pill organizer, know this: every small step is a powerful move towards stronger legs and a more vibrant life. Here's the quick recap and action plan. So let's bring it all together. Vitamin D isn't just a nice-to-have nutrient. It's the essential vitamin your legs are quietly begging for, especially as you get older. It plays a powerful role in keeping your muscles strong, your nerves functioning properly, and those painful nighttime leg cramps at bay. Without enough of it, your legs can feel heavy, weak, or unreliable, even if everything else seems fine. But the good news: you're not powerless. There are simple, doable steps you can take starting today to make sure your body has all the vitamin D it needs. First, get tested. Ask your doctor to check your vitamin D levels. Many seniors are deficient without even knowing it. Second, add D-rich foods to your meals. Think salmon, eggs, fortified plant milks, or even mushrooms exposed to sunlight. Third, spend time outside. 10 to 20 minutes of morning sun on your skin a few times a week can make a huge difference, and it's free. Finally, if your levels are still low or your sunlight is limited, talk to your doctor about a safe supplement, especially D3, which is better absorbed by the body. These aren't drastic changes, they're small shifts that can lead to more stable steps, fewer cramps, and a real difference in your daily energy and independence. So don't wait for stiffness or weakness to creep up on you. Start supporting your legs now, and you'll feel the difference not just when you move, but in how confidently you live your life. Here's the truth: you're not stuck with weak legs, constant cramps, or the fear of falling. Even at 70, 80, or yes, even 94, your body can still rebuild strength. You just need the right support. And sometimes that support comes in the form of one small, often overlooked vitamin. Vitamin D may not sound like a miracle, but when you give your body what it's quietly asking for, the results feel like one. This is about more than just getting around. It's about rising from your chair without struggle, climbing stairs without fear, walking beside your loved ones with confidence. It's about freedom, dignity, and energy to enjoy the life you've earned. Small habits, like sitting in the sun, choosing nutrient-rich foods, or taking a daily supplement, can lead to big rewards. You don't need to do it all overnight. Just start today. Step into strength. Your legs will thank you, and so will your future self. If this message resonated with you, or made you think of someone you care about, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, subscribe for more simple, science-backed health tips, and share it with someone who deserves to walk strong in their golden years. Because a stronger life starts with one small step.